YouTube Ozzico in the Goat House is back with NFL record predictions for the 2022 season. This video is for the AFC East teams. In the past, we've always done 32 videos, one team per video. Kind of took a while. Everyone was waiting for their team, so we'll switch it up this year. We're going to go division by division here. It'll work in the same way, though. We'll go game by game for each team. I'll put timestamps, if I remember, in these videos. We'll take a look at my record prediction. We'll take a look at best case, worst case, those types of things here. So it should be interesting. Excited to see these schedules and kind of see who's got the tough one, the easy one, and how things could work out, who can make the playoffs. And then once we're all done, we'll get to the playoff predictions, Super Bowl predictions, and more. So join us for all that. Like, subscribe, turn notifications on. Make sure you follow our Twitter. Every time I'm about to record one of these videos, I'll post a poll. Who will win this division? You guys vote. You can comment with your record predictions. So tomorrow would be the NFC East, and then we'll eventually make our way around to who will be the wild card teams, and then we'll get into the vote for playoffs and Super Bowl. So you guys are playing along here. We'll make a video out of that. So pretty cool. A good reason to follow our Twitter. For these record predictions, we'll start with the Bills here on the AFC East video. But playoffpredictors.com, which looks like they updated. It's a very cool website. Playoffpredictors.com. So looking clean here. So you go game by game, pick the winner. You can actually plug in the score now. They added that. You see it says 10-10. We're not going to mess with that. We'll be here all day. But yeah, we're going to go game by game here, and we're going to take a look at my record predictions. We can kind of circle back and real quick and see best case, worst case here. But Bills, we'll start with the Bills. We'll go in order of how they finished last year. Bills, I think we're all predicting to be pretty darn good this year. But Bills-Rams, that's a hell of an opener to start the year. I actually predicted in a somewhat recent video, who will win each week one game. And this was a toss-up. I picked the Bills, though, so I'm sticking to that as of now. Still got a ways until the season starts. But, yeah, it's tough to pick against the defending Super Bowl champs at home to start the year off. But I'm feeling the Bills in that game. Von Miller versus the Rams here. The Bills get better there. I think Josh Allen, preparing for him week one, I think he's going to be a problem maybe for the Rams of stout defense, but that could be the difference in a very good game here. So then week two, we got Titans at Bills. The Bills have had some troubles with in primetime games with the Tennessee Titans in recent years. It's going to be another great one probably. But I'm going to go with the Bills. I think the Bills get them this time around. And yeah, I think they handle business there this time, but it should be a good game there. Can they stop Derrick Henry? That's kind of the big question. They haven't been able to stop him in the past, but this kind of feels like the year the Bills could be the best team in football, and here's a true test in the first couple weeks there. Playing the Dolphins in Miami. Miami improved. Coaching staff, offense, defense should be very good still. So could they sneak up on the Bills in this head-to-head matchup? I like the matchup, just matchup-wise, which I always kind of go off of, and it's worked. I like the Bills here, and they could go 2-0 against Miami, even though Miami got significantly better. The Dolphins, why in the past, last year they won so many games is because their defense, and they're very successful blitzing. I think, Josh Allen beats the blitz there, so I do think the Bills will have success offensively against this Miami defense, which is it doesn't happen too often, but for the Bills, it makes sense. And then you take a look at the Dolphins' offense. Can they keep up with the Bills? Maybe they can now because they improved that offense. But I just like the matchup for the Bills. Week 4, I'm actually going to go Ravens in this one. And the Ravens, it's a tough draw to play the Ravens early. They weren't even healthy going into week 1, but a team that you kind of do worry could get beat up. They should be healthy early in the year, week 4. But I think this defense is going to be a lot different for the Ravens. I think they're going to show more zone coverage, and the Bills are a team like the Bills. There are a reason for that, for the Ravens changing things up, because teams like the Bills, the Bengals, the Chiefs, the Ravens with their heavy blitz and man coverage, those good teams that the Ravens want to compete with, they just beat that. They know how to beat it. So the Ravens switching up their defense a little bit. I think they're going to throw a lot of different coverages out there, more zone coverage, and actually be successful in it. So early in the year, maybe a little tough. It's a little different look Ravens defense there. So maybe the Ravens sneak one on the Bills there. Steelers, Bills. Yeah, I'm going to trust the Bills a little bit more on both sides of the ball there. I'm expecting Kenny Pickett. Could the Bills defense give them some struggles? I'm going to go Bills. Bills, Chiefs. Chiefs might be switching some things up defensively as well. They don't have Tyreek Hill, but they have more receivers to spread the ball out to. The Chiefs got them in that wild playoff game, obviously. This is tough. I'm actually going to say the Bills get revenge on this one. They got to be a little salty about how that ended, so maybe they get revenge. We'll circle back. That's one of those ones that can go either way. They got the bye week. This is an interesting part of the schedule off the bye week. They play the Packers, and interesting matchup. I think overall the Bills are two contenders. The Bills are probably the better team. This is in Buffalo. But something's telling me the Packers in this one. I think the Packers are going to run the ball a lot more this year, and they're pretty successful running the ball with Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. The Bills, something that they could work on compared to last year. Some teams were able to run on them, especially in this portion of the season. And the Packers really improved. You might say their offense took a step down. I think they might be able to run the ball a little bit better, and they're already good, but their defense really stepped up. This could actually, believe it or not, be one of the better defenses in football. So I do think the Packers' young defense could slow down the Bills' offense, not stop them, but I do think they'll have success running the ball. So this could be an interesting matchup. And the Bills-Jets, it's weird, off the bye having the Bills lose 2 in a row, but I have a feeling the Jets are going to get one on the Bills to get the home. Yeah, I think the Jets could be a sneaky team this year. We'll circle back. The Bills very well could be undefeated at this point, honestly, but they very well could 2-0 the Jets because they're much better than them still, even though the Jets could be a little sneaky. But just had a feeling the Jets would get one. The Bills won't lose 3 in a row. I'll have them beating the Vikings there. Browns, Bills. Will Deshaun Watson be playing? Will he get suspended at all? Will he be suspended 6 games? Will he be suspended the full season? So tough to really say. Like to think he'd play in this game, and this could be a very even battle. And we'll kind of look at it that way. Watson versus Josh Allen here. Even battle. I think just having the home field advantage could be just a slight difference in this one. So I'll take the Bills. We'll take them beating the Lions. I think, something happened in that playoff game, Bills-Patriots last year, where it's kind of a matchup problem with the Patriots, and they just gave all kinds of problems to them. And just the roster-wise, I don't know if the Patriots really did they get better. Are they more suited to play the Bills? Doesn't really feel like it. I like the way the Bills match up with them. The Bills will get at least one against the Jets. Yeah, I think they'll beat the Dolphins twice. I just like the matchup for them. The Dolphins present some big-time problems, and they got better to a lot of teams in the NFL. But I don't think the Bills are one of them. The Bears may struggle this year. I mean, there could be upsets. I got to scroll down here. There's always upsets, so it's just tough to predict right now. Bills, we got the record so far. We got a 12-3 record. And I'm only going to have Monday night in Cincinnati. I like the Bills over the Bengals too. That's one that can go either way. So I end up having the Bills only lose. Where's that record? 14-3, only losing 3 games. We could circle back, and you may say, yeah, there's no way they're going to lose to the Jets. Fans may say that. There's no way they're going to lose 2 in a row. I know we can see the Ravens, the Packers probably. But keep in mind, this actually could be around best case scenario, because keep in mind, I had them beating the Rams. I have them beating the Titans, who they sometimes can't really beat. So maybe that's kind of best case, starting 2-0. I have them beating the Dolphins twice. I have them beating the Patriots twice. I have them beating the Chiefs here, beating the Browns, which so this is kind of around best case. It could look a little bit different, like they 2-0 the Jets, but maybe they lose one of the Rams, Titans, Chiefs games, or maybe they lose 2 of them. So I do think my prediction is also somewhat best case here. Could they go 15-2? Yeah, sure. I think it's possible, so we can call that best case. Worst case, and we've seen them struggle during the regular season last year. They're like a much better team in the playoffs or down the stretch of the season, but I mean, they very easily could start the year with the loss to the Rams. I don't see them starting 0-2. In Miami could, I like the matchup for them. It's a tough stretch there, the first 4 games, because none of those are free. Through the first 4 games, I don't see them being 1-4, but I think it's 1-3. But I think it could be possible. But yeah, that's tough. They could lose between the Titans and the Rams. They could very well lose one. Have them losing one of those. They could lose to the Chiefs again. I had them losing to the Bills could be a loss. They could lose between the Patriots and the Dolphins. Maybe I don't see them. Now you could do this all day. They could lose this. They could lose the Bengals, but that drops it down to 9-8. I just really don't see it. I think worst case we're sitting around 10-7. That's about worst case. But my actual prediction, I only had them with 3 losses. But again, I had a lot of those best case predictions out there, 14-3. So I'm liking the Bills, as you can see. But they're a little sketchy sometimes in this regular season last year. That kind of worked out. They were kind of saving it for the end. So what type of regular season team, you more important is the playoffs. So which type of regular season team will we see from the Bills there? So, 14-3 looking pretty good. We'll go with the Patriots next. And I had them losing twice to the Bills. We saw that in just the thing the predictions I just did. I just don't like the way the Patriots match up with them. They very well can get one. This is a Thursday night. This is one they definitely can get here. Because it's Thursday night. Will it be in that freezing cold with a crazy wind like last year? Patriots Dolphins. Patriots had a tough time with the Dolphins last year. Doesn't mean they'll do it again. Not every year is the same. But in Miami week 1, they'll present some similar problems. Both teams will run a lot of man coverage, will blitz a lot. The Dolphins are much better at blitzing, more successful. The Dolphins are also tough, I think, for the Patriots to play week 1. Hearing bad things about the Patriots' offensive status, maybe with their play calling, it is way too early to base things off that. The Dolphins got a new offensive staff. They got new weapons. Tough to know exactly what to expect. I'll take the Dolphins this one. Patriots, Steelers, I already know this is going to be very tough to predict. I think it'll be Kenny Pickett. I really believe it'll be Kenny Pickett. And the thing I didn't love about Kenny Pickett, I think he'll turn the ball over more than people think. And I think specifically with NFL zone coverage, I think he'll have a problem with, trying to hit those sideline throws against zone coverage. The Patriots run man. They run more man than anyone. The Cowboys ran actually a little bit more last year. But the Patriots, we know, will run a lot of man coverage. They don't have the best corners right now. So Kenny Pickett actually could play all right in this game. And the Steelers' defense should be a little bit better this year compared to last year. They really couldn't stop the run last year. It shouldn't be that bad. It definitely should be better. But the Patriots could run all over them. It's the thing, too. Belichick always makes these young quarterbacks struggle. Here it is, week 2. I got to go with the Patriots. So the more I'm talking about it, the more I'm realizing I like the Patriots in that game. But Steelers could be sneaky in that one. Ravens, Patriots. I like the Ravens. Tough draw to play them early. You'd rather play them later, in my opinion, just based off because they've been injured a little bit in the past. And then we got Patriots at Packers. This is a tough schedule. I think the Packers taking care of business there. Have them beating the Lions. This is tough, too. It's going to be very tough to predict the Browns games. Week 6, will Deshaun Watson be suspended for 6 games? Even if he's out, I think the Browns have a shot to just run wild on the Patriots. The Browns should have a very solid defense, too. We'll take the Browns. We'll take Monday. This is Monday. It's a weird Monday game. Bears, Patriots. We'll take the Patriots there. Justin Fields versus Mac Jones. Justin Fields supposed to be better. Can he do that? He doesn't have as good of talent around him. That's why I worry about the Bears this year. Patriots, Jets. I think they'll split, so we kind of can go down to this one as well. I think they'll split. Will it be home? Will it be away? Patriots, Colts. Matt Ryan doesn't want to see Bill Belichick again, does he? It has nothing to do with that game, the Super Bowl game, quite a few years ago. But could the Patriots defense kind of start to pick it up around this part of the year, like they did last year? They kind of went downhill at the end of the season. Jonathan Taylor could run well in this game as well. I think the Colts are the better team for this year, I think. But for some reason in this game, I'm feeling a low-scoring Patriots win. Being home in that one is kind of the difference there. I think the Colts will be better this year, but feeling that's one that can go either way. Patriots, Vikings, this is a Thanksgiving night game. I'll take the home team. I'll take the Vikings. I think they could have success in the air and on the ground. Yeah, that might be a tough match for the Patriots there. Patriots will blitz. Cousins had some success against the blitz last year. That's a tough one. Patriots, Cardinals. This is Monday night. Late in the season, can Kyler Murray and the Cardinals figure it out in the big-time game late in the season? I think some people are starting to doubt them there. This is another one of those games that can go either way. Give me the Patriots in that one. It being prime time late in the year. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be that same team every single year, but they still kind of feel like it. That I'm going to take the Patriots in that one. Belichick versus McDaniels here. That should be pretty good. I'll take the Raiders here late in the year, clutching up at home. Take McDaniels. Bengals, Patriots. Yeah, I don't like that matchup at all for the Patriots. Patriots will continue to run their man coverage with weaker corners now. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, they just have a day against those types of defenses there. Bengals probably score a lot of points in that game, depending on who's in, who's out, obviously. Dolphins, Patriots. Man, the Patriots don't match up well. So this is the last one. So I don't see them only going 6 with 6. We'll give them one against the Dolphins. They just have not been matching up well against them. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go 0-2 against them. So that's a tough schedule. 7 wins for the Patriots, so definitely a step down from last year. That's tough because I do feel like their roster feels a little bit worse. It definitely does. But Mac Jones developing with his teammates, his offensive players, that by default they could be getting better. At the same time, it's a tough schedule. But kind of going back and looking at what best case can be. But I have 7-10. But what can best case be? I think I already have best case with the Dolphins. I don't think they win 2 against the Dolphins. The Steelers game, like I said, could go either way. I'm trying to look at this best case here. Could they? They've given the Jets big problems in the past. They could go 2-0 against the Jets. They could. I had them beating the Cardinals. They could grab one on the Bills. They could beat the Vikings. We could say that about everything. They could beat the Vikings, the Browns. I think between one of those, if Deshaun Watson's out, yes. I had them tough one was the Steelers. There was a tough one. In this scenario, have them going, getting one against Dolphins, 2 against the Jets, 1 against the Bills. I think it's around there. Maybe 11. It's a tough schedule. Maybe the Raiders or the Vikings between one of those two. Might be pushing it, though. I'm thinking 10. It's a tough schedule. I keep saying that. 10's maybe the best case there. Yeah, I had them beating the Colts, so it's another one that's really, I think the Colts are probably the better team, but back to the actual, I had them beating the Cardinals, so, man, that's tough. I keep saying it's a tough schedule because there's a lot of these games where I was kind of iffy on that I actually gave to the Patriots, and I had them winning 7 games. That's not the best look. I know what I say isn't what's going, but that's a little tough there. Let's see. You had the Bills, so we had 8, and I'm trying to find. I want to kind of get this all organized. Browns, so 7-10. Yeah, it just really depends on who's playing quarterback there. Then we go to the Dolphins, and we have them 1-3 at the moment. I just don't love the way they match up with the Bills, like we said when we were talking about with the Bills. They could beat them in that earlier game. We'll circle back to best case, but they could beat them in that earlier game just because we don't know what to fully expect from this somewhat new Dolphins offense. But, Josh Allen beats up that blitz. So this is a game where the Dolphins defense, can't really carry them to victory. The offense is going to have to keep up with the Bills. So I just don't love the matchup there. Dolphins, Ravens, that's a good game. That's a good game in week 2. 2 teams. Ravens are changing up their defense a little bit, a little more zone coverage or different types of players in there. Dolphins changing up their offense, new play caller, new offense, new head coach that runs the offense, and Mike McDaniel, and some legit weapons for Tua Tagovailoa. We know Tua should be healthy in week 2 because we know he has that. He's been out at some point, so a healthy Tua could be solid here with those weapons. That's a great game. They had that's right. They had played a primetime game last year. The Dolphins defense gave the Ravens offense all kinds of problems. Ravens offense should be a lot healthier this time around. I just like the matchup. I still like the matchup for the Dolphins. I'm going to take the Dolphins. So I have them starting 2-0, but then I don't love the matchup for the Bills. Dolphins, Bengals. I don't like that matchup either. Dolphins going to run a lot of man, blitz a lot. Bengals offense should have a day against that. Jets, Dolphins. I think I like them splitting. Let's have them split away games. I'm feeling frisky here, which is very possible. Dolphins Vikings. Is this the? I was going to say I kind of like the matchup for the Vikings. They should be able to run on the Dolphins. Cousins played very well against the blitz last year. Dolphins, didn't see the Dolphins, so the Dolphins blitz, and their corner's very good. I do kind of like the matchup. I got to click on the Vikings for a second because I want to see if that is after the London game. No, it's 2 weeks after the London game, so I was going to give the Dolphins for that reason maybe. That's tough. That is a tough one. I think the Vikings have success run the ball. I don't think the blitz really beats them. I like the Vikings matchup-wise. That's a 50-50 one, so we'll circle back to best case for the Dolphins. Steelers, Dolphins. Dolphins, I was going to say, I think Kenny Pickett could have better success against man than zone, but the Dolphins create some problems for these young quarterbacks with that crazy. I mean, they'll send the whole house. They'll send their safeties nonstop. Probably a low-scoring game in that one. I will take Miami. Miami and Detroit. Detroit can be a little sneaky. I really like this Dolphins defense. I think it's a little too much for them. Maybe too much. That's a good little stretch there they got. They're playing young quarterback. Golf's not that young, but go the Browns on this one. Bye week. We'll have them beating the Texans fresh off the bye. McDaniel versus Shanahan in San Francisco. We're going to take the 49ers. Dolphins, Chargers. Okay, Chargers offense struggled a little bit against these types of defense last year. Herbert great season, couldn't really get much going against these types of defenses, but I think a big step up for those guys this year. In the Chargers defense, I like the Chargers. I'm going to take the Chargers in that one. Packers. We had the Bills going 2-0 against some Packers, Dolphins, and then we got to pick I had them winning away games. Is that what I did? Yeah, I had Jets last game of the year. So we just got to pick the Packers, Dolphins. We're at 7-9. I kind of like this is going to be another defensive game. This is going to be another defensive game. The lack of weapons, no Devontae Adams for Aaron Rodgers against a strong secondary. They might rely on the run. They could have some success against the run or with the run. Dolphins. For some reason, I'm feeling the Dolphins in that one. So we had them going 8-9. I feel like they got significantly better. That's why. So if you look at last year's record this year, so you would think because they got a lot better that they should finish better than that. But I guess it's all about the schedule, who you play. It's all about staying healthy. So this is a tough one. So 8-9 here. So we can circle back. And the one that was the toughest one was probably the Vikings Dolphins. So we give them that one for the best case scenario. I did have them beating the Ravens in week 2. Let's see. Had them going on a bit of a streak or with the best case. Browns. It's a tough schedule. They could beat I'd say they're more likely to beat the Patriots twice than the Jets twice. I don't know why I feel like that. And this could be swapped. They can win the last game of the year. They can, that could be either way. Another tough schedule. 10-7 is 11 wins. Maybe is the best case. They could be a dangerous team, but another one it's a real tough schedule there. So back to what I actually predicted. Tough one. To the Jets, who could finally be heading in the right direction here. So we have them at 3-3 with predicting all the other games so far. We had them splitting with the Dolphins. We had splitting with everyone, didn't we? Yeah, even with the Bills. So the Jets, I had to split with everybody. That one didn't apply to every single team here in the AFC East. Ravens, Jets, I'll take the Ravens. It's a tough draw. All these AFC East teams are playing the Ravens early. I don't like that for them. Like it for the Ravens. It's a tough start there. Will Deshaun Watson be out? That could change some things. I'll take the Browns. They beat the Bengals last year, didn't they, if I'm not mistaken? Could they do it again? Man, that's an interesting matchup. That is an interesting matchup. Obviously, the Bengals are the better team. God, that's the Bengals are so much better though. I'm gonna take the Bengals starting 0-3. That's tough. These AFC East teams got a tough schedule this year. It looks like Jets. I guess the layout of them. Jets and Steelers. Zach Wilson versus Kenny Pickett. We think Kenny Pickett. Man, these ones could go either way. I don't see them starting 0-4. I feel like we're giving a lot of losses to the Steelers already. It's probably going to change when we circle back around the Steelers. Just don't see them starting 0-4. Jets, Packers. Just trying to think of the matchup here. That could actually be a potential upset there. I think the Jets will. I think they'll get an upset in here between the Packers and the Broncos. I got them going in 2 in a row though. It's tough. That's tough. We'll go Packers or Broncos. For some reason, I can see them winning that Packers game. They got the bye of the Patriots there. Bears, Jets, Fields versus Zach Wilson in New York. We'll take them. I think I like the way the Jets match up with the Vikings. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Jets over. It's away. I'll take the Jets over the Vikings. I like Salah's defense versus the Vikings. They could give him some problems. They might have success running the ball in that game too. I'll take the Jets. Bills, Lions, Jets could go either way. We'll take the Jets. Lawrence versus Zach Wilson. It's Thursday in New York. Let's go to New York. We got 8 wins right now. I don't think they're going to go on a big streak here, so we'll go Seattle. Seattle could be sneaky too, pounding the football. I just think between that's tough. Yeah, 8-9. I got them going 8-9. So they have. Did I have the Patriots finishing 7-10? The way is that's crazy. Yeah, a lot of these are tough. That they really could go either way here. I mean, I gave them the Vikings one. Did have them starting 0-3. I mean, it's possible if Deshaun Watson doesn't play, they can win here. So the Jets got a pretty good best case here. Like I said, I felt like they could win the Packers game, but I also haven't beaten the Patriots, and I have them kind of going on a streak there. So I don't know if all of that happens at the same time. I probably had around the best case. It's probably around. Could they win? So I actually think the Jets got a tough start, but the layout of the schedule down here is pretty solid. They have a shot. I mean, they have best case of 10-7 in my opinion here. Pretty crazy to think about. I don't think it actually happens, but it's pretty crazy that could happen. But the worst case probably can drop down pretty far. I mean, they could lose this. They could lose the Steelers there. They could get 2-0'd by the Bills and the Patriots. Patriots again, so they could finish with a pretty bad record. It could be like around 5. I mean, 4. It's possible too, but so that's a tough one. Because the Jets probably have the biggest range. Like I'm pretty comfortable with the Patriots going 7, 8, 9, or 10 wins. The Dolphins with 8, 9, 10, maybe 11. The Bills is probably going to be 11, 12, 13, 14, around there. The Jets could be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It could be anywhere in there. So the Jets are kind of one of those teams, and the schedule definitely makes it interesting as well because it's a very tough start. I don't love when teams start like that, though. That's a tough part, too. This is a very, very tough team to predict, scheduled to predict, because they very well could be 0-3 They could be 0-4. And when teams start like that, it kind of sometimes it sucks the life out of them, and they start losing games. It's like, we just got off to a bad start. We want to restart this whole season. So that's kind of the tough part as well. So, yeah, maybe I was really on the best case with the 8 wins there. Yeah, I had him winning 2 here. I was really on the best case, I think, around that 8, 9 wins. But you can see it's kind of possible there. Yeah, that's a really tough one. I can change my mind on that one and in a second. It could be probably more comfortable predicting with that 7 range, but it's just always tough to go through and just try to pick which one. I did have them starting 0-3 though, so it's interesting there. So the Jets could be a little sneaky, as we can tell. They are getting better. They got a well-coached team. Just the offensive line should improve. The weapons improve. The defense definitely will be improved. It's just all about Zach Wilson. So the Jets again could be a sneaky team. Pretty big range of record. The rest of the AFC is, like we said, not that much of a range of finishing record there. But the Jets could be anywhere between, I'd say, 5-9. Probably. But I was predicting kind of on that higher end there with that. I'm really in that 7-8 range with them. So we'll see. That ends up being it for the AFC East record prediction. So as you can see, I have the Bills finishing first. And we'll circle around and get my final predictions. And then we will see who gets in the wild card spots. We'll predict the playoffs and we'll predict the Super Bowl. You guys are doing the same thing on our Twitter over there. So make sure you follow that link down below. But that's going to do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.